Hello, listeners, and welcome back to Echoes from the Road, a podcast about music, moments, and everything in between, from the first note to the lot after. My name's Annabella.
Hey, I'm Chris from Colorado. So, welcome back, everybody. It's been a couple weeks. Glad to be back. Annabella, great to see you. So, for anybody that tuned in last time, we met with Heather and Miranda from the JGB inspired band Breadbox. So, if you guys haven't checked it out, I highly recommend checking it out. It's on YouTube, it's on Spotify. It was just such a great segment with those two and the work that they've done with the Colorado Grateful Dead community. So, I'm even more excited about today. We're talking with a friend of mine, Chris O'Leary. Chris is a Boulder native.
Chris from Colorado.
Sorry?
Chris from
Chris
Colorado.
from Colorado, right. He actually took a little hiatus from Boulder and went to ASU, and he returned in the early 90s and jumped in on the ground floor of the Fox Theater rebuild, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, he helped
Perfect.
rebuild the theater into like this legendary music venue that we all know and love today. So today he's here to talk about, getting in on the ground floor of the Fox and watching it grow into a cornerstone of the live music scene in Colorado. So welcome, Chris.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. And I'm also going to mention, if you saw Megan O'Leary in an earlier segment,
That's
this is the
boss.
other half.
That's the boss.
Yeah. So welcome, Chris.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah. So
Great to be here.
get us started. So first thing I wanted to ask is, what was the transition like going from college life in Arizona back into Boulder?
Wow. That was definitely a transition. You could call it that. Coming out of college, being from Boulder, especially going to Arizona State University, the culture down there is much different from the hippie Boulder culture than I'm used to. So going from plastic world is what I called it, up to people who just, were natural people, was a great transition. And it took me a little while because I had to do a detour to California. Had to go to California, look for a job, something better, right out of college. And then land somewhere safely there. 'Cause long story short, I got engaged when I was a senior in college, which is way too early. I know that now. But she was from California, and I moved out. She was a year younger than me. We were supposed to meet out there. We met out there, and made a decision to postpone stuff, and I wanted nothing to do with it. So the best thing that ever happened to me in my life, actually, probably, is I left and I went back home.
Nice.
Any
Where in California did you go?
Florida Linda was where her parents lived, so I stayed there for a couple of weeks just to find a place to live. And then I had some of my friends from ASU who lived in Huntington Beach.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, so I lived with, what was it? It's probably a loft, 2 bedrooms, and then whatever space was left with 6 people. It was fun.
Wow.
That
Roommates.
does sound fun. Yeah. And not a bad place to be.
No,
Right.
Yeah.
we had a bunch of fun. I had to work at 3 different restaurants to make it through, seriously, I had to work my butt off just to live in with 6 other guys or 5 other guys.
Yeah.
So the transition, if you want to talk about that, I was ready to go back to Boulder.
Yeah.
And when I showed up, I, of course, like most people do after college, might move in with your parents, just get a little break. And I found out that my 2 brothers both lived in, one lived in Lafayette and the other lived in Boulder. So when I got back, I went and visited with them. And I basically found out that my brother John, who's the middle brother, had an investment group that was opening a national act venue in Boulder. And I asked where, and he said, the old Fox Theater on the hill. And I was blown away. I was like, I've been to that movie theater as a kid since I was 4 years old.
Wow.
I saw Star Wars there for the very start. That was my first Star Wars show there.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
So when he said that, that brought back feelings like I was on the hill right across the street. It was old Chicago arcade. Played in that arcade over and over and over again. So the hill was very familiar to me. Coming back there was interesting because I was no longer a college student, but I was with a bunch of college students. And it was a learning experience going in there, seeing what their idea was, and actually watching it from my face. Actually, I came at the right time, perfect timing. They had together, and it was an old movie theater, if you can just imagine, a one screen movie theater, and all the chairs got ripped out. People actually wanted to buy the chairs.
Yeah, I would have.
Completely gutted out. And right when they were done with that, before they really started framing the whole inside of the framing, I mean, railings, floors, all that kind of stuff. I got to see it just before that. So it was a disaster. And then through that time, my brother asked me to work there as a general grunt, as a general laborer.
Hmm.
And in 1992, I got paid $5 an hour to show up at whenever I wanted. As long as I was there, I got $5 an hour, and I would do whatever the hell they told me to do. I mean,
So
I worked.
were you part of gutting it, or when you got there it had already
Yeah,
been
when
kind
I
of wiped
got
out?
there, to tell you the truth, when I got there was very beginning of the skeleton
Okay.
side of it. So I just missed this. But the funny part about you saying that is, so they would do all the framing and the floors in the theater went level to level to level.
Hmm.
Back to the theater, you'd have an upper level, have the soundboard lighting area, and then you'd have a floor, and then another dance floor area. So they were framing it, all of those side seats, and pretty impressive truth. And it still, to this day, is there, has only been repaired as it needed. The railings are the same. When I walk in, that it's the same. That's what it reminds me of.
What?
Did you have any experience doing anything like that before? Or did you just kind of jump in and figure it out?
Oh, I was in restaurants before that.
Right.
In college, I went from dishwasher all the way up to assistant manager at some place by the time I was a senior, which is what got me through college. So I was a restaurant guy, which has a lot to do with the reason jobs when I went back after college were restaurant jobs. And then when John, my brother, told me, "Hey, I'm doing this," I asked him, "What can I get a job?" "No, I'd rather do anything you want except for wait tables." And he's like, "Yeah, you can be a general laborer or the contract, $5 an hour." And I just jumped in. I had nothing to do. I was right out of college. So did that. And when all the construction kind of thing, the closer we got, I talked to my brother about, looking a place when it opens up. And of course, there was always the idea because I was there working that I might get my foot in the door. So I had an interview with Dick Sidman, the CEO. He knew that I was probably, but at the same time, I had so much restaurant experience. Um, they, I should have said this before. They had to have food in the venue, part of the liquor license. So they had to have a cafe.
Hmm.
They had to sell food in order to get a liquor license so close to college campus.
That makes sense. So it wasn't just popcorn and
No way, you
candy.
had to sell.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really interesting. If you're in a 2-mile distance of campus, you have a tavern license. And a tavern license means that you can sell alcohol, but you have to sell food with that alcohol. So our job was, uh, in the very beginning, we had for the first year, 12 months, we had to sell 20% of our sales had to be food. In other words, if the bar sold $100 worth of liquor, we had to sell $20 for the food. So
Okay.
that was it. And if we didn't do that after the end of the year, the Fox Theater wouldn't be there right now. They truth.
That's
That
Wow.
was
crazy.
fun. Sort of missing some parts though. I mean, it's a long story. It's been a long time. Ultimately, I went in there and I got my foot in the door with the construction. My brother obviously was one of the partners. And from that point on, when I started working in the cafe, I had way more experience than a lot of other people. I was made manager probably 2 months later, and we got rid of the 4 other assistant managers that we didn't need. So I came in there and cut and cut and cut and made it not be so expensive because the menu that they had, the size of the kitchen that they had, and the amount of people they had working in the cafe was ridiculous.
Mhm.
How many people?
Jeez, I had probably had about 7 or 8 wait people, at least 5 or 6 cooks, and then I would have cashiers and assistant people, probably another 4 people. So we're talking like 20 people for a little cafe. I mean,
Wow.
if you've been there, you know how big it is.
Yeah.
So when you walk in the front door of the Fox Theater, you walk through. If you look to your left, there's nothing there now.
Yeah.
That was a big cafe. Yeah.
Okay, so where they do vending now and everything? It
Yeah,
used to be?
exactly. That's
Yeah, okay,
exactly right.
got
That
it.
that was all a cafe.
Wow,
So
okay.
on opening day after, all the construction was done,
Yeah.
were you in that you were working in the cafe area, or
Yeah, I was definitely in charge of that night.
what do you
I
remember that being like, I guess, going from construction and the rebuild and the cafe setup and all
It
of
was
that
so
to the
exciting.
first day? Yeah.
I was so excited to finally have this happen. It really, and I had nothing in it. I had nothing but the love of music and these people that I've worked with. And then my brother, of course. It was just, I finally got to that point where I could see it all. And it looked really, let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
Do you remember who played that opening night?
oh, good question, Belle.
Okay. Yeah.
It's been a long time. I'm testing your memory here.
See, it's weird because the opening was like the 4th, 5th, and the 6th. March 6th, uh, 1992 years played. And they were the first band. They weren't the first band to play the Fox Theater. Gotta be careful. And what's really funny is right now I can't remember who the first band. It was a
Mhm.
soft opening. It was one of our local people. I want to say Danny. It's not Danny Schaefer, but it was somebody local. Came in and we had a soft opener, sort of like a celebration opening. And then the next night we did a super soft opening where we brought people from outside in. And then we opened up the next day, full on sold out show, 600, probably at least 700 people.
Wow.
The venue capacity is six. I can guarantee you at times we probably have about 900 people, or maybe 1,000 at some point, but it depended on there. Yeah.
That's it.
So,
That's
I
what
mean,
happens, right? Some nights I was there and even the Boulder Theater and I feel like, okay, this is oversold. It just
mhm.
feels that way because there's like, people in the aisles and it's just yeah. So
Yeah, well, you can just imagine they're selling out big time, and I have to come up with 20% of the alcohol sales.
well,
That's all I uh, to tell you the honest truth, it was wonderful. It was a great feeling. Everybody was happy. It really felt like a family, to tell you the truth. It was a family. To
Yeah.
this day, it's a family. The OGs of the Fox Theater, my wife, it's just many of those people to this day we're best friends with. So it meant something. If you work in a place 34 years ago, you don't know probably 20 people that you worked with back then. That's cool.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's special. So what was it like sort of in those early years going from, I guess, opening day, having some more local people to play to watching it take off and,
Right.
bigger acts coming and seeing
Well,
it start to gather some
big,
attention?
big question was in the first year, can we do it? Can we bring in enough people? And can we make people happy? We wanted to make people happy. And tell you the honest truth, that's what the upper management and me, they all focused on making our customers really happy. When the bands started coming in, they would play and never hear the end of it. End of the night, how awesome the place was and how the sound is so geared towards the band instead of not necessarily all the audience. Now, don't get me wrong. the audience got just as much as the band. But it was funny to hear the band people say this is the best play I've ever heard. Yeah,
That's awesome. And by the way, you were right. I just Googled it. The Meters were the first band to play at the Fox.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They also came back for year number 2, and then I think they came back in year 30. Yeah, I think 30 we did another Meters show there.
It's
But
awesome.
about family, the Meters were our family. They're the place. They're people. Joe Porter, Art Neville, all those guys were a big part of bringing all us together. And after that, it was interesting because we got to bring in other family, and what I mean by that is local bands. We got to bring in bands that were so excited. Some of the people that were investors were musicians and had their own band, like Doug and the Thug. Can't really think. There's a lot of local bands back then.
Yeah, well, and there I was just thinking like just local Grateful Dead bands. I mean, I
My wife just opened the door and yelled and said, "Band du jour."
oh, band du jour.
Anybody wants to look up a Boulder favorite from back in the early 90s,
Yeah.
late 80s, early 90s, band du jour.
What kind of music?
Like, how do I say this? It's sort of like Louisiana, sort of like blues, Louisiana, like
Oh,
New Orleans kind of stuff,
okay.
uh, with a hippie vibe to it. Keyboards. Keyboards were the big deal, right?
Okay.
And the best thing about Band du Jour was they had a great lead singer, but they also had a great next lead singer, Sherry Jackson was her name. She was just that band was unbelievably good live. Being in a venue and watching that band, any venue, you would love and fall in love with them. So bands like that, Thugs, the Samples, Big Head Top, can you get that
Next
song
time
at
she
keyboard?
next time she pops her head in, just have her come over.
Lock the door. All right.
Oh my god.
Both bands meant a hell of a lot to us, to tell you the truth, because they brought in the college kids. And we
Yeah.
even did things like Disco Inferno.
Oh,
We
nice.
would get a DJ with the whole ball and everything. And we would do a disco night. And it became so popular. It was sold out
That's
some
so
night.
fun.
We would do it on a Wednesday night and it would just explode. And speaking of my wife, that's where she came up with her alias name, Margarita Martini.
Margarita martini, nice.
That's where it came from, her dancing days.
That is
I love
so
that.
funny. And
That's awesome.
so did you have any idea like that it was going to become this big? Like,
No way. I really didn't. In the beginning, I thought it would be more of a, I didn't realize how many bands. Let me just put it this way. When I walked in that door and I started watching bands from March 1992 for 3 consecutive years, I saw probably about 300 bands a year. You know what I mean? A night. And that was hard on me. That's why I only lasted there 3 years. I burnt out. But I heard so much good music come through that place. Let me give you a few examples. Dave Matthews came through the Fox and blew up after that. Aquarium Rescue Unit is another band who has members that play with Widespread Panic, play with Dead and Company. I don't know if you know the bass player, of course,
mm,
Dead and Company. O'Teal, um, Jimmy Herring is the guitar player for Widespread Panic.
mhm.
Both of those guys played at Fox Theater. Aquarium Rescue Unit was the name of the band, and Colonel Bruce Hampton was the lead singer. That it was his band. So I loved them so much. I invited them back to my house.
That's so
So
awesome.
O'Teal and Jimmy took us up on it because they didn't want us to take on the bus. I said, I got a much better place. So it was great to hang out with those guys till 4 in the morning. And then at 8 in the morning, their bus goes up at our front door, the big tour bus. So it was funny to hang out with those guys. Things like that happen to me a lot. I got to meet a lot of great people.
So cool. So on that, I my next question was going to be how much do you feel like working there influenced your music taste and the bands you fell in love with versus you already loved this music, so working there made it like that much better and that much cooler?
Okay, so that's me growing up. The first, first cassette tape I remember buying for myself was Prince 1990.
It's a good one.
I
So
I love
from that,
Prince 1999. That's amazing.
yeah, um, so that from that point on, my family is all in music. I have an aunt that's a Grammy Award winner for Song of the Year. I have John O'Leary is an engineer that's been was with String Cheese Incident for over a decade for sure, and they're front of house for a long time. My brother Bill O'Leary, he's the black sheep. He takes so if you walk into the Fox Theater and you look up on the wall, you'll see Bill O'Leary as the signature on the photo.
What?
Wow.
So yeah, I got a talent. I've got a family that loved music. Let's put it that way. So that's where I came from. And of course, growing up, I loved classic music, Eagle, Pink Floyd. I mean, I want to tell everybody out there, you go ahead and look online now. You can go to your AI person and ask Folsom Field. The shows were called Colorado Sundays. And this was a Folsom Field show that was on Sunday, Colorado, back in the early 70s, late 70s and early 80s, too. If you look that up, all the concerts, I'm going to say from Doobie Brothers on, I was there.
Wow. That's
I
awesome.
Two of them I worked. I met hot dogs. And then very first time I played it, I'm into arcade games. Was 11 years old, and I was walking from my grandma's house up through campus to go up to the hill to just where the Fox Theater to go across to one of the arcades. So I'm walking by. I'm like, oh, all these people are here. So I look through the fence. I was like, and a guy comes up from the other side. He goes, "Hey, kid, you want to get in here?" And I look around. Yeah. And he goes, "What you got in your pocket?"
Nice.
So I pulled out my quarters that I had for the arcade for the whole day of arcade, which I don't know, $5 worth of quarters. And I gave it to him and he gave me a concession pass. So I
Wow.
could just walk. And that was the Eagles. When I walked in, the Eagles were playing.
Wow.
So that kind of stuff is what I grew up with. When I got to the Fox and started experiencing that again, it completely brought me 180 degrees and to actually enjoy that live music thing again. Because as a kid, it was ingrained in my head because like I said, I have family. We used to go see my aunt play at the Walrus in Boulder. That's not there anymore. She used to play at many venues around Boulder at Peter's Band. And so growing up, kid, my grandma taking me to all her shows. That really is what made me into love. And you know, it's really funny. I never picked up an instrument other than a trumpet in junior high.
Hmm.
I always feel bad about that. I really
Don't
wish I had time.
don't feel bad about that. You're talking to a fellow trumpeter. I was the
Oh
same way.
yeah.
Yep. I played in middle school
I
and high school, and I never really
to this
branched out
day
much further.
I'm 58 years old. Yeah. I looked at the trumpet the other day in the music store because Megan is using or starting up violin again.
Oh, fun.
And these things, beautiful trumpets were like $100. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. Yeah. But I
That's so
love
fun.
playing. You know what I did? Here's another little thing about me. Hey, when I was a kid, trumpet, I would go down to the mall as a busker. You guys know the Pearl Street Mall, Buskerville, during the Christmas time, and I would sit there and on one of the benches and play Christmas songs. It's the trumpet case open,
Mhm.
and I'll never forget. One day it was snowing, literally perfect, beautiful, nice flakes snowing down, and I was playing. All of a sudden, I think it filled up. And I
Oh, that's
made
so funny.
$45 that day.
Wow,
Nice.
that's awesome. Oh my God.
So you were pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I knew how to play those songs for
There
sure.
you go.
Silent Night,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, back to the Fox Theater. Let me just say that I was really happy to experience all of that. It was a learning experience, and it sucked me into music even more, which
hmm
is good or bad. Depends on how you look at it. I spend way too much money on tickets. I probably lost more money on tickets than I spent on money tickets.
Could you imagine doing that now, though, with the price of tickets? That
I
would
know.
be insane.
Yeah, it's just music will always be a part of my life. It'll be a part of my son's life, and he's 21 years old and loves music. He's got his thing going on. And to be able to do that and influence a younger person like that, especially when he loves the Beatles and like Pink Floyd, you turn them on to stuff like that, and they actually listen.
Yeah.
King King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard is just great too.
So, what kind of music do you find yourself gravitating to these days?
These days, guess I would say, well, it's really funny because I go through phases. I'm a real bluegrass fan. I went to Telluride Bluegrass Festival from 1992 until 2002, 10 years straight in a row. Megan was a part of that big time. So that was my bluegrass phase. I really loved that bluegrass jam. Leftover Salmon, even String Cheese, I'd throw them in there a little bit because in the beginning, they were sort of thought of like a bluegrass band,
Mm-hmm.
hmm
or,
Right.
but I had that phase. And then when I got out of 2002, I'm going to say I went through back to my roots. I really wanted to see people like Paul Simon and just see people that on my bucket list like that.
Yeah.
Pink Floyd was another one. And then to tell you the truth, since probably 2011, 2010, 2011, I've really gotten back into jam bands, specifically Fish. Yeah. So here, the only
Nice.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that.
That's awesome.
So there's a story behind that too. Real quick, my stepmother, 10 years ago, we were at Cape Cod visiting her, and she asked me, I'm thinking about getting a tattoo. And I looked at her like she was crazy. And then, okay, really, I'm thinking about one too. So I convinced her that I'll find a place that's very not back alley because she was like, I don't want to go to some back alley for a tattoo.
Right.
Like, no, they're all legit. So I hooked it up with her and we went behind my dad's back and got
Oh,
tattoos.
and what did she get?
She got a little tattoo about that size on her ankle of the shape of Martha's Vineyard.
Oh,
Martha's Vineyard is where she was born,
okay.
a native of Martha. So that was special. Quick
That's
story.
so fun. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Wait, so talking about bluegrass, are you into Billy Strings at all? Because I've been dipping my toe into
Billy
bluegrass a
Strang
little bit.
is somebody to watch for sure. He's a phenom.
Yeah. He's not
I love
human.
he's the amount of energy that he has and shows, and how do you do that? Speaking of him, the thing that ever happened, she's concerned Sunday night Red Rocks 2 or 3 years ago. Before Phil Lesh died, obviously.
Wow.
Phil Lesh would play with them on Sunday, String Cheese at Red Rocks. And so we heard that he was not feeling well and he couldn't make it to that show. So I heard through the grapevine to definitely go to the show because there's a special thing that's going to happen. And it was Billy String.
Wow. Nice.
You'll see that on YouTube. On YouTube, you can YouTube Billy String Cheez-Its, and it was amazing.
So you
Yeah.
get the
I mean,
inside scoop on shit. All right. Remember the little people, dude. Remember
oh,
me. Remember
I
me.
I get nothing for free anymore. No free tickets. I pay my way. Yeah, that's the way it goes.
Yeah, but I would love to know if like
It's
there
nice
was going
to
to be a
name drop once
special
in a while.
guest star, you know? Yeah. Wow. That's awesome.
Is awesome. I feel like so blessed last year for Grateful Dead 60 at Golden Gate Park. We got to be there
Yeah,
and seeing Billy Strings play with Dead and Company and seeing him open as well because I've been really into him for the past like 2 years. And so seeing him open and then seeing him come out and what did he do? He did Wharf Rat with them, and I
Oh,
literally
yeah.
I was like I was freaking out, and then I went on Instagram afterwards, and it was so fun. I follow these accounts, and they're like, "That was a life-changing Wharf Rat. There
For
are no
sure.
words for what just happened." And I'm like, "Yeah, like, that was nuts."
Yeah, I can't there's no words for him.
Yeah.
He's a blessing to all of the jam band community.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And he's a
He
good
knows every
guy. He's a good guy
oh,
too. It's just like so
yep.
good. So good. Hey, how's Broke Ass Bistro going?
Broadcast, yeah. It's a thing Megan started, and yeah, before we go there, look at me. Here. Everybody can see an OG t-shirt from the Fox.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Okay, what
That
year
is
was
like the
that
first
done?
t-shirt we ever made. First
Wow.
t-shirt we ever made at Fox.
Oh,
And guess what? It doesn't fit me anymore. Otherwise, I'd be wearing it right now.
sucks getting
That's so
old.
cool, though.
I was skinny back then, big time.
Thank you for sharing that. I've never seen
Yeah,
that emblem before. That's a keeper for sure. Yeah. Hang that bad boy on the wall.
yeah. I'm gonna put it in a frame sometime,
So do
along with
you
other posters.
Yeah, there you go. So do you still go to shows at the Fox every once in a while? And if you do you like
Definitely,
no?
yeah. Dogs on a just a bunch of guys. Basically, and I see one of those up and coming jam bands play there. Dogs in a Pile. I'm coming at a blank. There's like 5 or 6 other ones. Ferd, ever heard of those guys?
Mm-mm.
Dogs in a Pile, Spafford, just playing ping pong.
Oh,
Okay, people, I'm sending out new waves of new music. There you go. Pigeon playing ping pong, Dogs in a Pile.
okay.
There's another one called Skewer, which is SCUREW,
Okay.
and they're local. They're
All
local,
right.
and I guarantee you, keep an eye out for them. They're gonna be really big.
Ooh.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. And
So I
are they just rock bands, jam
no,
bands?
it's jam bands. It's definitely jam
All
band.
jam bands. Okay.
All jam bands. No way. Yeah.
Okay.
I I can't get my head out of jam bands these days.
I like
So
that. I like that.
That's a
that
good place to be.
like that
Yeah.
includes, going to Whibby and seeing Shakedown Street,
Yeah,
and you know, you go to a whole bunch of local stuff that
I do.
we love the jam band
I
community.
I do. I do. And it was okay. My whole family went to the Sphere to see Dead and Company,
Oh,
and I went to get a ticket and it was like $800. And I said, "You know what?" I said, "I'm going to take that $800 and I'm going to go to all sorts of local shows and I'm going to support the Colorado music scene." And it
there you
was
go.
such a great year. I went to so many different venues and saw so many different bands and made so many new friends. So it was the best. I mean, I really miss seeing the Dead at Sphere. I saw them a couple years later, but that was money well spent.
Oh, it's a little shiny
Oh, yeah.
fish.
Oh, at the
Fish
Sphere.
New Year's Eve, MSG.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll tell you what, first time I went to see Fish for New Year's, uh, it's bucket list. It was so awesome. I mean, just stuff like that. These days, if I want to spend money, I'm gonna do it with what I know is going to be valuable to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yes. I did Fish New Year's show in Boston.
really,
Yeah. Fenway?
yeah. No, they wouldn't have done New
No, they
Year's at
didn't
Fenway.
do Fenway. It was an indoor venue. What's the indoor in Boston? I just remember it was like I rented a van at a Honda dealership, and the person that rented me the van was a fish head. So it was like, oh my God, have a blast. So all of my friends piled in, and I drove us to Boston from Pennsylvania, and it was like 4 below 0. It was awful. It was so
Damn.
cold. But they did Bohemian Rhapsody as an encore, and they had a whole choir come out and sing it with
Oh,
them.
Wow.
It was
great.
life changing. Yeah, but
Oh,
those MSG shows are great. I did a garden show with my brother, I don't know, 3 years ago, and it was just I couldn't go to sleep that night. I just started listening to Fish, and I was just like listening to it in bed the whole night. I couldn't stop.
as far as venues go and me seeing Fish, I've probably seen about 100. Oh, I know I'm over 100, but I don't know. I don't count. That energy that I felt this past New Year's in that place was something I've never felt before.
Oh,
So
wow.
to just say that and it wasn't because of drugs. It just the energy that those people brought in that place, it was just you could feel it. It was
Yeah.
really it was a golden moment, um, for all 4 nights, to tell you the truth. I mean, it just happened every night. You could feel everybody there, and what's great is usually when you're going to 4 nights in a row, you usually have the same seats each night, and you really get a community around.
Yeah, your area, yes.
And so by the time Sunday comes along or New Year's Eve, it was a Wednesday, you're just like hugging and love.
You're right.
Giving kid love you.
I'll tell you,
That's so awesome.
I totally agree with that fish vibe. Like my boyfriend Billy has gone to over 300 Dead shows and loves the Dead. And I'm really he's always loved fish, but not like me. And man, fish is just there's just no energy like it. It's like the Dead on I don't know speed. I don't know. It's just, but they're all such amazing musicians. And I just saw Trey at Red Rocks with the Colorado Symphony. I
Oh, you got to go to
I've never seen a show like that before. That like Billy, I kept looking at Billy. Billy was sobbing the whole night. He was crying.
yeah,
And you could hear a pin drop
yeah.
at that venue. Like I couldn't believe it how quiet and respectful everybody was.
I heard Divided Sky was
Oh
awesome.
my God.
Yeah,
It was
totally.
just yeah, it
Yeah.
was and my brother flew in for that show, so, I mean, it
Oh,
was
awesome.
yeah, it
Cool.
was so good. So,
That
yeah.
was the one ticket I didn't wanna pay for, tell you the truth.
Yeah, I you know what?
$200 each way. How
Yeah,
you doing?
I you know what? I jumped on it because I really I missed seeing Bobby play with the orchestras. He did a couple shows, and I missed that. I like, when I had my back surgery, I had Wolf Brothers seats, and anyway,
Mm,
but
Yeah.
I really wanted to catch one of those shows, so I'm glad I did.
It's super cool with the symphony. I got to see Bobby with I think it was like the Stanford Symphony out in the Bay Area, and him doing like Terrapin with an entire full orchestra behind him. I
yeah,
I mean,
incredible.
it's like face melting. You just kind of stand there and let it happen. Then you don't know what to do with yourself. You're like, like what now?"
Face melting. I love that.
Yeah. No, literally.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
awesome. So, I think this would be kind of a fun transition to go into our
Oh,
little segment.
let's ask this.
I'd
Annabella,
Mhm.
have you seen The Grateful Dead?
I've seen Dead& Company.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
a mere 23, so I
Good.
that
Have you seen
unf
The Dead?
Yeah.
Grateful Dead?
Yes, I saw 11 Grateful Dead shows and a ton of Jerry Band shows.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm actually more of a Jerry Band fan than I am a Grateful Dead fan.
I agree. So is Megan.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how they're all awesome, but Jerry stuff's great.
Ugh,
Yeah, for sure.
makes me cry. He makes me cry so much.
So mine was, summer of, 1985 in Byrne Arena, New Jersey. How about
Ooh.
you?
Ooh, 85. Say that again.
Did 85, in Brendan Byrne Arena in the summer of 85.
So my first show was 88 at the Spectrum. My
Oh,
first show
nice.
was at the Spectrum and
For sure.
I had great seats and I was separated from my friends. I got a ticket late. So they were all sitting together and I was sitting with a bunch of people I didn't know and the person next to me was smoking opium I was like okay and I don't even know I don't even remember getting out of there honestly. I remember Bobby was wearing his short OP shorts with no shoes. I remember
Alright, quick one.
yeah.
For my first one, Brendan Byrne Arena, New Jersey, everybody knows the Giant Stadium and Brendan Byrne Arena, the rain it's in Jersey, it's where bunch of highways. So me and my high school friends, I went to New Jersey for high school for my senior year only. My mom was getting a divorce and freaking out. So it really funny. That's a whole nother story, but I actually had to go to New Jersey for my senior year of college of high school instead of graduating from Boulder High School. But I met some of my best friends ever. So they took me
Nice.
to the Dead show. And the two things that I remember about the first Dead show, when we were on the highway, the traffic was really bad, but you're on those like overpasses, so you can look down and see where the parking lots are and like how the fences are all laid out, and you can see parking lot. Next thing we know, we're all out of the car. We had just indulged in a bunch of stuff and looked over, and we watched this huge 4-wheel drive truck, huge wheel, drive over the fence, off the road, over the fence, into the parking lot, and people started following the guy off the fence into the parking lot. It was the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
There was no stopping them.
There was no way, and there was nothing anybody could do. That guy paved the way for all those guys to get free parking.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Hey, man, that's awesome.
Second one was after we parked and we walked out of the car, we had beers, bottles, beers, and I was walking with my friend. I go, "Oh, shit, we forgot a bottle opener." And right when I said that, a guy walks up and he goes, "Do you need that open?" And he goes,
Oh my God. Whoa. You should
that was cool.
So I think Billy was at those shows. You should totally talk to him because he
Yeah.
remembers down to the detail. He can tell you the whole set list, what everybody was wearing, what tapestry they were standing on. Like it's pretty crazy. The show
Yeah.
he can remember. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
That's
hey,
so
so
funny though.
we are almost out of time here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Annabella, do you want to wrap us up?
Well, yeah, let's do our little segment first. Every episode, we all share a song that's been on repeat recently. I'm gonna get you two to go first because I don't know what I'm gonna share, and I gotta look.
Oh my goodness, that's so not like you. But you know what?
I know.
We were, hey, wait, I see. We were talking.
I'm okay. I'll go first. So I'm learning Dire Wolf right now on the guitar. In fact, I'm
Oh, nice.
thinking my guitar teacher, Johnny O, who's a blues musician in Colorado, he's actually my neighbor, has a recording studio. So he's going to let me record it. And I'm
Nice.
thinking we're going to use that as part of the opener for this podcast. So right now it's Dire Wolf. Yeah, Grateful Dead, love it.
Nice.
All right, Chris,
Awesome.
you're up.
Well, I'm picking the song because it's probably a song that really in the last 2 years, heavy stuff in my life, and of course, be my favorite, and it's every breath.
I love that song.
Everything's
Yeah.
great. Yeah. So
That song makes me feel good every time I hear it.
Yeah. I just discovered that song last year, like beginning of last summer, and it was my song of the summer. And it was
Nice.
like every time I felt the sun on my face, I just wanted to
Totally.
hear that song. And it just was like, it lifts your spirits. It's a good one.
that's awesome. Belle, did you
Very
figure
nice.
one out?
I do. This song was actually, it was stuck in my head all weekend. And so I don't know why it took me looking it up to realize that. But Mama Tried has
Oh,
just been on repeat recently. I love that song. I think it's so fun.
Oh,
And I love listening to the Dead version, and then I love listening to the original as well. And I don't know, just like comparing them both, hearing the
Cool.
different versions.
and
Yeah.
remind me who the original was. Do you know? Do you remember?
Some country guy.
That was Motown, right?
It was Merrill Haggard.
Oh, Merle Haggard. He was close to Motown.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out. I'd like to
Haggard
listen to
song.
the original.
Merle
Yeah.
Haggard was a great songwriter, by the way. He wrote a lot of good songs.
Did he?
I got to check
According
out
to
some more
Diane.
then.
Nice. Okay, cool. My gosh, Chris, this was amazing. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for running
Yeah.
through your that time with the Fox and getting that going, and all of your experiences with who you met, and just
Yeah, I
sounded
hope,
like such
I
a
hope
great
I
experience.
perspective and gave a little insight, but there's so much to talk about. It really is hard to bring it down into 1 hour.
I know.
I could do this.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you would be willing to come on again sometime, maybe we can talk about, more about it.
Bring me with the wife, and she'll just play her violin in the background.
All right,
There we
that's
go.
cool. That sounds awesome. That sounds awesome.
We got to get the whole crew on.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep. And hey, remind us, Broke Ass Bistro. Where do you
Broke Out.
guys?
Yeah. You can look that up on Facebook.
Okay.
It's Broke Out Bistro, and this is something my wife started to basically break things down into simplicity. that makes sense to you?
Yeah.
To make things easy, to make things cheap, she has a saying, I should probably go to it. You can still hear me, right?
Yep.
Her explanation is so awesome. It's basically what we do is we go out and we film like we went up and film our local farmers market the other on Sunday, and walk through there and we'll talk to people. Like for instance, we talked to a guy who grows tomatoes and asked him a whole bunch of really interesting things about how people at home who can use their home gardens, something very simple like a tomato plant, and how much that means in this day and age by staying away from grocery stores and making some of your own food. That's basically what it comes down to.
That's good. You know what? How
Yeah.
amazing. Because let's face it, shit's expensive right now. I mean, I could spend $150 and walk out with one bag.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was my whole point.
Yeah.
Wait, no, sorry. I love to give you this.
What the tagline for Broke Ass
Yeah,
Bistro?
yeah, yeah. The tagline has to be because it's great the way she puts it. Here we go. There we go. Sorry, it's taking a little bit, but hey, it's so worth it. Look at I'm looking at a Colorado Sunday ticket on Facebook. Like I was telling you guys,
Ugh.
look up Colorado Sundays, Folsom Field, and you'll see the amazing bands. Here it is, Broke Ass Bistro, where food, music, and local celebrity guests collide. Host Megan O'Leary serves up easy, budget friendly recipes while chatting with fascinating guests and rocking out broke ass tips to live well on a dime. Anything goes at the bistro. There you go.
Very nice.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, yes. Thank you again, Chris. It was so great hanging out with you for the last hour and hearing about your experiences with the Fox. And best of luck with Broke Ass Bistro.
And it
Yeah.
Bella?
was so great getting to meet you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for
Yeah.
having me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No worries. All right. Thanks, everyone. Look for this to be posted the next couple weeks on YouTube and Spotify.
All
All right.
right.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.